The mission of the Immigration Affairs Division is to ensure that policies and regulations regulating foreigner entry into the country are consistent with national interests and that eligible citizens and foreigners are not denied entry. Malaysia's Immigration Department may be a Malaysian government department that provides service to Malaysian citizens, permanent residents, and international tourists. The department is responsible for issuing passport, travel papers, visas, pass and permit, as well as administering and controlling people movement at approved entry and exit point. The Ministry of Home Affairs, abbreviated KDN, MOHA, is a Malaysian government ministry in charge of domestic issues such as complaints, protection, public order, population register, and immigration. Illegal immigration to Malaysia is described as cross-border movement of people into Malaysia without official authorization, which may be missing, revoked, expired, fraudulent, or irregular. Migration could be caused by many reasons such as the economy, religion, or simply relocation, thus creating more opportunities for the employers to hire foreign workers and earn profit through in terms of paying a low salary, and the employers do not have to pay the statutory deduction for the foreigner workers like employees provident fund, EPF, and Social Security Organization, SOCSO.
My name is Muhammad Afiq bin Anwar. My student ID is 2021111565. Now, I want to present about managing the issues planning. Immigration policy has been one of the most contentious issues in politics and society at large. Many citizens in Europe are dissatisfied with the number of immigrants granted asylum in their country, partly because their income have remained stagnant. When looking at the problem from an economic standpoint, I'm here to tell you that there are both positive and negative aspects to immigration. Let us begin by discussing the benefit that immigration brings to the table. The type of immigrants that a country allows in is more important than the number of immigrants it allows in. If a young, highly educated immigrant who is just starting his career migrates to the United States, he or she will contribute more to the economy through taxes and donations. Furthermore, children of immigrants have been shown to be highly efficient and beneficial to the nation's fiscal economy and economic development. With an aging baby boomer population, taking in more immigrants from a low-risk, high-reward population would almost certainly be a major benefit to us. Aside from that, technological innovation and globalization are the primary cause of wage stagnation among workers. Globalization has had a negative effect on certain parts of the regions, as shown by the outcome of the most recent presidential election. As a result, we must do a better job of assisting our employees in their relocation to new employment. If we leave them behind, the nation will be divided into only one faction, those who despise the shame.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Harisami. Then I will continue the presentation on how Ministry of Home Affairs manage of illegal worker in aspect organization. Okay, let me start. Organizing is a method of distributing work to members of an organization so that the goals of the organization can be achieved successfully. This is also a process to ensure that there is sufficient physical and human capital to implement the strategy and achieve the organization target. Alright, if you can see in this slide, PowerPoint, this slide is talk about the issue that our government and ministry face for this issue. Let's discuss the problem and issue faced by our ministry in the aspect of organizing. However, the immigration department face many challenges in achieving its objective. Weaknesses in law enforcement are among them. National regulations have led to the entry of foreign workers into Malaysia on a large scale, which poses a problem for the region. The net challenge of the Immigration Department for undocumented immigrants is the chaotic political climate in the country of origin. The dysfunctional political situation has harmed the economic growth of this international labour country, especially in terms of creating employment opportunities for its citizens. The problem faced by Immigration Department for illegal workers is low employment opportunities in the country of origin. In Malaysia, foreign workers come from Indonesia, Bangladesh, Thailand, the Philippines, Myanmar, Pakistan and other countries. This is due to the lack of the employment opportunities in their country of origin, prompting them to move to neighbouring countries including Malaysia to earn a living, and because of the difficulty of finding employment in their country of origin, these migrant workers tend to move to neighbouring countries seeking employment despite low wage. Alright, this slide is talk about how our ministry and government solve the issue and the problem. The Immigration Department faced a number of problems, but the government has provided a number of solutions in agency case to bridge the gap between the government approach and solution. Is the government tightened the law for foreigner entering Malaysia within 40 working days from the date acceptance, including the quality of legal advice in accordance with the Federal Constitution and legalization, taking into account the decision of the government, the ministry and the public interest, in accordance with the scope of the issue and legal documents submitted. Then the way that has been made by the government to address the issue are by preparing and reviewing draft laws and regulation of subsidiaries in accordance with the Federal Constitution or the applicable regulation and government policy in 30 working days. Finally, the way the government work to address the issue is by examining and giving order in criminal trials, as well as conducting legal prosecution in accordance with the Federal Constitutions and regulation before the case is resolved, taking into account citizenship and national interest. Therefore, this is how the Immigration Department solve all the problems that occur due to the entry of foreign workers in Malaysia in terms of organisation.
I want to present about decision making on how manage issue of illegal immigrant or worker in Malaysia. Nowadays, immigrant employees in Malaysia face additional difficulties because they are not eligible for government services such as unemployment, disability, or social security. Since the worker has no recourse, legislation requiring breaks, overtime, sick leave, and minimum wage can be disregarded. Firstly, how to manage immigrants worker. There are two: strong communication and cultural differences. Managing immigrant workers poses a variety of problems for both seasoned and inexperienced administrators. Although some management principles apply both locally and globally, tracking the success of workers on the other side of the globe poses a specific set of challenges. Before we get too far into a management debate, make sure that we as a boss and our business as an employer are aware of the legal differences between the United States and the country where our immigrant employees are employed. Strong communication. Management of foreign workers necessitates excellent communication skills. When dealing with our employees in another country, we want to write emails that are straightforward. Clarity is particularly crucial if we don't speak the same native language. As a side note, stop using idioms or slang that might be difficult to interpret. Additionally, since we and our immigrant workers can only have a few hours in the working day, where we are both at our desks, contact may take a little longer. since we will need to submit important emails before closing our office and won't get a response until the next day. Make sure we emails are highly successful and include specific tasks and objectives. Cultural differences. Understand the major cultural discrepancies between the United States and the cultures of the foreign workers. Some teams are much more literal than others. Make it clear how much discretionary authority workers have over individual activities. When it comes to deadlines, tell the workers what the hard deadline is and, if possible, give them a suggested timeline. Here, too, consistency is crucial. It's possible that you will have to clarify the distinction between these two deadlines. In general, it's a good idea to get know the culture of the people you were dealing with in order to avoid stumbling blocks that can slow down business or cause clients to miss deadlines. The more we understand about a society, the more efficient your contact would be. Secondly, the strategies and recommendations for immigrant workers. There also have to working period and fee for a work permit, levy and visa bond. Malaysia has attracted a large number of immigrant workers to work and live in the country. Recognizing this, the government has enacted and enforced a set of rules and regulations governing the recruiting, jobs, and repatriation of immigrant workers. There are strategies and recommendations for immigrant workers. Working period. An immigrant worker's working cycle should be shortened from 5 to 3 years only. If he wants to prolong it, he may do so for another 3 years, making it a total of 6 years instead of 10. According to the author, the 6 years working cycle is sufficient. It is too long for an immigrant worker, and minimizing it would provide equal opportunities for others to come to this country and work as well. International employees would be unable to settle down in this country due to the shorter working time. In other words, they were unable to integrate into the local society and were destined to live as outsiders. The hiring of immigrant employees is solely for the purpose of filling essential labour shortage in some industries.
I went to present about the controlling the entry of the foreigner. Okay, let's start.
Okay, I want to present about how to control the entry of foreigner. First thing is authorities should improve monitoring and surveillance along our country's schools and borders in order to reduce the presence of illegal immigrants. The Marine Police, Immigration, and Navy must work together and operate as a unit. This party should be more proactive in identifying insertion points in order to prevent illegal immigrants from entering the country. They can perform field inspection on a regular basis. Next is foreign workers, especially those who enter without authorization, must be subjected to increased police scrutiny. Authorities should keep a close eye on the mastermind and syndicates in charge of illegal immigration. Many that are convicted should face harsh penalties, including mandatory sentence. The detained foreigners should face several legal consequences. The next is furthermore is All authorities should step up their efforts to find, arrest, and repatriate unitarian employees. Government operations like Operation Bridgman and Operation Ya have proven to be very successful in reducing the influx of illegal immigrants. Economic migrants will be less likely to reach our country if operations like these are carried out. However, the success and usefulness session approach is debatable. The next is Furthermore, 6P program. The 6P program is being implemented. Registration, whitewashing, compliance, surveillance, tracking, and amnesty are all aspects of the government 6P program. The program is being introduced in order to gain statistical figure of the number of illegal immigrants in Malaysia, as well as to collect their personal data, including biometric data. The government will use the 6P program to determine the necessary number of workers for each sector that is permitted to employ foreign workers in the country. Additional or last suggestion is reporting to the authorities. The community can also play a part by reporting employers who hire illegal immigrants to the authorities. Owing to the low cost of hiring illegal immigrants and the lack of government
Okay, that's all about the controlling of the foreigner. So I think it's the suggestion for me for government. Okay, bye. Go to the conclusion.
In conclusion, Malaysia needs foreign manpower to develop the country. The influx of foreigners can bring benefit to our country and at the same time will also cause various problems in the life and peace of our country. Therefore, the government should take measures by strictly controlling the recruitment of foreigner labor to prevent the entry of illegal immigrants. If certain measures cannot be taken as soon as possible, this problem will have negative implications on social system, economy, politics, national order, and many more. In addition, the authorities should also restrict the entry of illegal labor through law enforcement and provide punishment such as mandatory imprisonment imposed of anyone who hire foreign labor without permit. Therefore, operations to detect foreign workers without permit should carry out regularly to identify foreigners entering Malaysia and large inspection in housing areas that are the focus of foreign labor, rural areas, so that effort to overcome the problem of illegal foreigner labor is more effective. In order to solve the issue, immigration and the Ministry of Home Affairs must collaborate. In addition, the government has made a number of attempts to reduce the number of illegal immigrants in the country. As a result, we must work together to assist the authorities and the government in combating illegal immigration into the country. The authorities must also be firm in carrying out their duties and never giving this illegal immigration a reason to continue to enter our country. Everyone should be aware that our country is being increasingly inundated with foreigners. Whether those who enter with permission or those who enter without permission. As a result, we Malaysians adore our homeland. Do not allow outsiders to flood our planet. For the sake of our beloved country, A strong sense of patriotism is urgently needed at this time.